I'm currently stuck on the side of a mountain in Costa Rica. One of our vehicles has gone into a ditch. We're waiting on a tow truck driver, and I'm here with the other vehicle. It's terrifying up here. Uh, it's wet. The roads aren't very well paved, and yeah, we almost slid off a mountain a couple times, and we're heading into San Jose to get to a hotel by the airport, and then we're gonna fly out Monday morning. So stay tuned. So what happened in Costa Rica? I was in Costa Rica photographing a destination wedding for a friend of mine. It was vacation, but it was also work. It made me think about what it is I want to do. One of the reasons I became a photographer was because I wanted to travel. I stopped shooting weddings during COVID because the leads I were getting were 3 and 4 years out, and it was just want to be in a client relationship for 3 or 4 years prior to the actual shoot. I don't mind shooting weddings. I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy weddings that are shorter. It's not the wedding so much itself as when the day drags on to like 10 or 12 hours, and you know, it's a long time to be on your feet. Your body aches the next day. It's like, how much punishment do I want to put myself through to do this kind of work? Destination weddings are different. They don't last as long. You're in a foreign place. You're in a different place. Usually an amazing looking place.
It's 3 a.m. every day. The howler monkeys wake up before God and start howling. Every day. Usually around 5 a.m. Today it's 3 a.m. Oh, it's not cute. It's not enjoyable. It's so loud. It's so loud.
Everyone, I wanted to come on and give you a quick channel update. I was trying to post a video a day through May. I did that through June. It got to be about every second or third day, but in July I haven't posted a single video at all. My last video at the end of June, I posted right before I was heading to Costa Rica to photograph a wedding, which I did. I couldn't get any videos edited or posted while I was in Costa Rica, but also while I was in Costa Rica on the final weekend, I went through a very traumatic, life-threatening event. We almost slid off a mountain a couple times. That changed how I think about things. Forced me to slow down, really appreciate what's around me. The weekend before coming back, the couple had rented a beautiful cabin in the cloud forest. It's cloud forest, it's mountainous roads, it's up in the mountains. It's rainy season in Costa Rica, and the roads had been washed out in a number of places, the cliff, and we're driving up two separate vehicles, one a 4x4 and one just the equivalent of like a Toyota Yaris, you know, a small little vehicle, front wheel drive, not a lot of power. The car overheated halfway up, and then at some point, when we ran out of paved road and the roads turned into like rock and dirt, I took over driving the small vehicle. And, you know, we'd passed a number of sections where the edge had been washed out, and then it's just cliff. You just fall down, and it's just like a 100, 200 foot drop off a cliff. There are some trees, but like the car goes over, it's not coming back. You're not probably coming back either. So we hit a point where the incline was so steep, the vehicle couldn't get up. The road's mud, wheels just start spinning, and then the car just started going backwards uncontrollably. I couldn't control it. I tried putting it in reverse, steering into it, steering us away from the edge, and no matter what I did, we just kept sliding further and further towards the edge. And we were terrified, absolutely terrified. It's probably the most terrified I've ever been in my life.
It's an adventure, Kevin.
Yeah, so that experience took a lot for me to recover from. And so I've been spending some time thinking about that, dealing with the PTSD of that, and trying to get out of that. After that, we turned around. They were trying to find another way up to the cabin, and the car got stuck again. We had to push it up the hill. Once you hit paved road, pitch blackout, no street lights on a mountainous road. You can't see what's not lit up by your headlights. And the vehicle ended up going into a ditch. And we had to get a local drove by on his motorcycle, who called a tow truck. It cost $600 US to get the car towed out. But we before that local came by, it was a half hour. We had no idea what to do. We were just stuck there. We thought we were going to have to sleep there, spend the night there, do something on this road that just is continually getting more and more rain coming down it. And the vehicle had where it was a ditch, it had slid back into a pole that was holding up power lines in the rain, and the pole was falling over. And so the more we tried to steer out of it, the more the pole kept going over and over. And so this local, he helped us, and he was able to get a tow truck to come and tow us out, and then we ended up driving back to San Jose and staying at the hotel.
So I'm now safely in a hotel, outside of the San Jose airport, at the Holiday Inn Express. We actually thought we were going to go over the cliff and slide down the side of a mountain. For me, probably the most terrifying experience I've had in my life. And so, pura vida, baby. We all decided that the best thing to do would just be to come to the hotel, because I was terrified, and I just was not going to attempt to go up that mountain again in a cloud rainforest in the rainy season. We could have, the roads could have been washed out, and we could have been stuck up there. So while it may be beautiful, it just was not worth the risk.
So that's one of the ways in which Costa Rica was not a positive experience for me.
I'm going to go have breakfast at Denny's in San Jose.
I used to be afraid of needles for many decades, but COVID got me over that when I was getting vaccinations, and I realized this is not a problem at all. But I have a fear of snakes. I think that's a pretty healthy fear to have, and I had gotten over my fear of needles during COVID, and while I was down in Costa Rica, I encountered a snake out by the pool one day, and I thought, well, I've been able to get over my fear of needles. I should be able to, deal with my fear of snakes. And I won't bother it. I'll just walk by it. It'll leave me alone, and that'll be fine. And I did that, and apparently, probably the worst thing I could have done in that situation. Because this snake is what's called a fertilance. And for those of you who know snakes, that is the deadliest snake in Costa Rica. It's a type of pit viper, and very unpredictable. And I should not have walked past it calmly, because that could have startled it into attacking me and biting me. And it's incredibly venomous and deadly, potentially deadly. I did get to do some zip lining. That was a ton of fun. The day after the wedding, I did a surf lesson, and that is easily the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I had no idea how much energy that was going to take to try and do and get up on the board. I've got a belly, and getting my feet up in front of my belly was not easy or even possible. And the water there, where I was in Manuel Antonio, down on that beach, it's about like waist deep up to maybe your chest height. And when you fall off that board coming into the shore, you get bounced off the bottom of the ocean floor and turned over like clothes in a dryer or washing machine. And I screwed up my shoulder. Felt like I tore my rotator cuff. It's been sore for a month. I've only just 2 days ago was able to get to see an osteopath who has fixed it up incredibly well. And the range of motion that I have, again, is phenomenal. I swear by osteopathy. It has changed my life now on a couple of occasions. One of the things I'm most bummed about my trip to Costa Rica is my Insta360 X2 camera, which is supposed to be waterproof, died in about an inch of pool water. That's it. It's gone. And so I don't have that to use to record videos anymore. I bought an inexpensive water housing off Amazon and took that with me and was able to get some underwater photos on my R6 in the pool, and those look great. I'm going to be using that again in the future, so that's going to be a great thing. It's really inexpensive. It was like $40, probably cheaper in the US, but I highly recommend it if you want to do anything underwater. It's a great thing just to have handy. So you're going to see some changes here on the channel. You're going to see a lot more vlog type content, a little less of me behind the desk, more of me out in the world, because being a photographer was, for me, all about getting out from behind a desk, and that hasn't been the reality for me for 10 years. And so I want to be getting out more. I want to be out in nature. I don't want to be a landscape photographer, but I just want to be out and about. I want to have the freedom to come down to the lakefront and enjoy an afternoon. And so I'll be filming more content out in the world. So let's get back to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
That is scary, right?
Yeah, that terrified me.
You're doing great.